You seem to be like a traveler. You have no hang-ups about eating anything in terms of food.
Staying in villages of China and Tibet for months, I completely stopped asking what's on the plate. I think I've ended up eating anything that moves or doesn't move.
All sorts of places. Afghanistan you have shot and so many others.
It gives me great pleasure to just travel. I think travel has been the greatest education for me. My understanding of world politics, sort of things around that happen around us, has all come from travel.
Many people said that Qurban was totally inspired by New York.
In Qurban, there was a completely different statement being made. In New York, there was a diametrically different opposite statement being made, even though they were set in the same sort of context.
Kabir Khan is an interesting filmmaker, primarily because he's a documentary filmmaker as well. He has been a freelance camera person as well. And somewhere you've traveled, I think you were saying yesterday that you've traveled around 60 countries in the world. In that context, I think it becomes a bit of a different thing when you're traveling to maybe a place like Japan or wherever when you're traveling. What is it that you're looking for? Because you seem to be like a traveler. You have no hang-ups about eating anything in terms of food. I had a tough time yesterday night because I'm a very, very typical, very boring eater as far as Indian eater actually. I can't do without my rotis and all that stuff. Yeah. But you enjoy that, and I think for a traveler that's important.
That's very important. I think being a little adventurous in your eating styles and habits is very important if you're going to travel the world, because I honestly believe that half the pleasure or half the experience of going to a country comes from its food. Once you eat what the locals eat, you really begin to understand what's happening over there. So yeah, in that sense, I think very early on in my career, when I was shooting in places like China and Tibet and staying in villages of China and Tibet for months, I completely stopped asking what's on the plate. I just ate what was given to me, and as a result of which now I think I've ended up eating anything that moves or doesn't move.
You're having this camera with you right now, and obviously you must have even I think functioned with these sort of cameras while you were just making your documentaries. Yeah. So what is it in your mind when you're just traveling? Like say you were in I think the remotest part of China and all sorts of places. Afghanistan you have shot and so many others. Himalayas, you've done a documentary on Himalayas. So tell us about that experience when you just
honestly for me, I mean still photography, you'll always find my old Nikon with me all the time. Still photography is a great passion with me. I mean for me, even now when I travel, the greatest pleasure is just walking away with my camera all alone and just walking into the cities or into the mountains or into the countryside and just spending a whole day or two taking photographs. I mean that still gives me a lot of pleasure, and still photography is something that I've been doing passionately over the years throughout my documentaries and feature films. I've even held 2 exhibitions of my photographs from around the world. And for me, it's like let people go and buy souvenirs when they go to countries. For me, if I get that one shot, which I feel can make it to my next exhibition, I can't tell you the kind of happiness it gives me. For me, that's the souvenir. So, and as of now, in this camera lies one shot, which I took in Osaka, which I feel is something that can go into my next exhibition. I'm really happy about it. So it's it gives me great pleasure to just travel. I think travel has been the greatest education for me. My understanding of world politics, sort of things around that happen around us, has all come from travel.
I'm sure that you must be having a lot of video footage as well of all the travel that you've done and all the documentaries. Many of that footage may not have gone into maybe the documentaries that you've made. So any possibilities of maybe just culling everything together, maybe just coming out with some sort of a travelogue of whatever you've done in terms of a video travelogue? Because now you have a different sort of I think profile as well as a filmmaker, so many more people know you now.
I mean, yeah, I've thought about that, but it's, honestly, it'll be very difficult for me to put together all that video footage, because I shot it for various people, various networks and various sort of producers. So it's very difficult to put it together in terms of rights. But my still photographs are mine. And that is something that I would always, want to put together and keep showcasing. I love showing my photographs to my friends and, whoever is sort of interested in seeing them. Right. So that I can do, but I think in terms of putting the video footage that I had shot would be a little difficult task.
Okay, and but almost everything that you've shot, it's primarily for networks. You haven't shot stuff for yourself as such.
Not on video. For myself, I do stills, but for myself, no, I've not really done much of the video. So because all my documentaries used to be commissioned by networks, various networks around the world. So the rights would always be lying with them.
New York, many people said that Qurban was totally inspired by New York, and many of the things that happened in Qurban were almost identical to what had happened in New York. Does it flatter you as a filmmaker that your work is somewhat become an inspiration?
In the case of Qurban, I know for a fact that Qurban as a script was written at the same time as New York was written. So there is absolutely no way that they had anything in any way been inspired by us. It just, I think, was a coincidence that they were on a similar backdrop. But at the same time, I would like to say that the politics of Qurban in New York were diametrically opposite.
But many of the situations were almost similar in terms of
the setting
the way
was similar.
setting.
That they were both shot in New York. It was about urban terrorism. But again, what is important more than the setting, and this is what I always keep saying in films when you read politics of a film, what is very important is the statement, not the milieu. So in Qurban, there was a completely different statement being made. In New York, there was a diametrically different opposite statement being made, even though they were set in the same sort of context. Right. So I think that is what we need to recognize when we're reading the politics of a film.